Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today you find me out in a piece of land which has had many different names over the last couple of hundred years, but originally this piece of land would be known as Washington Common. So we're just next to the village of Washington, and it's now divided in two by the busy A24 dual carriageway and roundabout. But a few hundred years ago it would have been a lot looser, the boundaries of the village. It was originally set up by a prominent Anglo-Saxon family called the Wassers, hence the name Washington. And this area here would have been used for keeping communal animals on, grazing them in it. Absolutely lovely old oak tree here perched by the side of the road, and surrounded by a carpet of bluebells. I'm a little bit of a bluebell snob because I've not been to this area before to see the bluebells, and they are lovely. However, if you look back at some of my past few videos, you'll see I've been to some woods where there's a whole lot more of bluebells to be seen. So like most woodlands, becomes a little bit of a warren to walk through. You've got all these interconnecting pathways, and sometimes you're at a complete loss as to which is the best direction to be going through. This area is most commonly referred to as Warren Hill, and it's now National Trust property, and the car park is managed and run by the National Trust. And the reason it's called Warren Hill is because in the centre of the woodland is a large section that people use now for picnicking on, but it would have been a rabbit pillow, and these were common in the Sussex area. So the pillow basically is a large mound of earth, normally artificially made, and it allows a rabbit population to concentrate their growth in one section, and it means that the landowner can come and harvest the rabbits whenever he is hungry. You can see why it's called Warren Hill. So all of these little bits of dirt on the surface are the rabbit houses down below. They must come up and snack on these buttercups when there's less people around, and then sleep out the day in their burrows. Probably hundreds of them under my feet as we speak now. So being that this is National Trust property, there's plenty of picnicking opportunities in the area. Just look at this magnificent table that's been cut from logs and put here for our pleasure. Turning around, got a magnificent view of the South Downs looking towards Chantry Hill area. Right here we've got an old oak tree where its limb has grown out too far and just need a little bit of extra support from this tree that's been put in here. So we're just coming to the end of bluebell season. I've done quite a few videos on bluebells and in the local area, so if you look back at my last few videos, or I'll put them down in the description. So this really points towards the old use of the land. We've got a watering trough here. So like I said before, this land was often used for grazing animals on, so of course you would need somewhere for them to drink. So right here we can see quite a lot of sand on the surface, and that's because in this area in Washington Village there is green sand, and this has been used for commercial purposes, and lots of quarries in the area which have later been landfilled and put back to the land. So we're quite high up here, and over to our right is the busy A24. You can probably hear that rumbling away in the background. So this area now is very popular with families and dog walkers, just because it's quite near to a lot of urbanisation. Washington Village, Storrington Town, and to the south Worthing, Littlehampton, Lancing. So one of the other names that's been given to this area is the Sanctuary, and this dates back to earlier in the 19th century. So I'm just going to read you what is reported on Wikipedia. So the founder and central figure of the Sanctuary community was Vera Pagnell. She lived from 1897 to 1968, and she was the daughter of a textile manufacturer. Using her inheritance, she purchased 50 acres of land at Heath Common and proceeded to give away plots of land free of charge to anyone who was willing to settle there. She lived in a house she named Sanctuary Cottage, part of which was kept open for any passing stranger who needed shelter or refreshment. Vera Pagnell was inspired both by Christianity and as well as principles of the pioneering socialist Edward Carpenter. She imposed no conditions or rules to prospective settlers and insisted that the sanctuary was open to everyone. Initially, all who came to live there were given half-acre plot on which they could park a caravan or build a simple house. Eventually, communal facilities were created, such as a shop, a school, and a building used for theatre and dancing. Lacking a single political or spiritual focus, the sanctuary attracted a wide range of individuals as residents and visitors, often with unorthodox and radical views. These included pagans and such as the occultist, poet and publisher Victor Nerberg, and Dion Brigham, an ex-leading light of the Order of Woodcraft Chivalry. Other residents included anarchist W.C. Owen as well as Communist Party members. Artists were also attracted to the community, such as landscape artist William Heaton Cooper and the Shakespearean actor Wilfrid Walter. So this area is more commonly used now for entertaining children with families. Loads of rope swings in this area, and you can see children have been building little camps out of bits of trees in the woods. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head down to the place where Vera used to live, on Sanctuary Lane at Sanctuary Cottage. And part of Sanctuary Cottage was set aside so that people, travellers, could come and stay in the cottage free of charge and rest themselves before they carry on their journeys. So very lovely of her to provide that service, almost like the youth hostels of modern day. So how this links to some of my other videos is that I did a video up on Chanctonbury Ring discussing the occult practices that have gone on there, and links to Stenning and the likes of Aleister Crowley. If you don't know who else Aleister Crowley is, I'll link below the Wikipedia page so you can go and have a look at that. And he was the lover of Victor Nuremberg, who is said to be a regular visitor to the sanctuary. Also, other strange links are that she was supposedly a fan of Edward Carpenter, and Edward Carpenter was married, or not married, but was the lover of another man called Ted Earl. Kind of conflicts with the Christianity beliefs of that era, and she later married Ted Earl, and they can be found, their graves can be found in the local church at Washington. Strange thing about this area is the use of the name Sleepy Hollow, and the Sleepy Hollow gives connotations of satanic things going on. So a bit north of the rabbit pillow, we've got this walk through the woods and a little bridge that crosses a stream. Charming little bridge, but I'm going to go the route lesser travelled, across the stepping stones. If I fall in, this will be in the bloopers. There we go. I'm going to head back now to the pillow. So these woods are full of contrasts here. So these pine trees stripping the area bare of vegetation, and then you literally turn the camera around to a glade of bluebells. So I'm going to end the video up here on the other side of the pillow. If you could like and subscribe, it will help me to make more videos just like this.